Wow, this was a very interesting Darlington throwback race. I mean, it's Mother's Day, everyone's having fun, throwbacks, everything, everyone dressing out, had some good racing going on, had some wrecks here and there, and then at the end, the thing that killed the vibe was a dirty move. We have a lot to talk about after Darlington. Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again. We're back to another episode of NRR. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2022 Goodyear 400 from the Darlington Raceway 293 lap event. Joey Logano gets the win here today, but in a Joey Logano fashion that a lot of fans aren't happy with. And we have just a lot to talk about and stuff with that. Some incidents with some other drivers, some drivers having some good runs and stuff. So, of course, like any other video, we're going to look at our top 10 finishers. We're going to rate the race. Then we're going to talk about the biggest story of the race, which happened in the last two laps. And then we're going to look at our drivers of the day and then end it off from there. So let's go ahead and dive on into this video. Finishing in first was Joey Logano. Joey Logano gets the win here today from Darlington. His first win since the Bristol Dirt Race of last year. His 28th career win and his first win at Darlington. That beats his best finish at Darlington second back in 2018 in the Southern 500. And he wins from the pole. And we have a lot to talk about for Joey Logano. Also, this was his first top 10, top 5 finish since the Bristol Dirt Race of this year. But for Joey Logano, he had one of the best cars all day. He led the most laps. He was running inside the top 10 most of the day, or really all day, to be honest. And then he lost the lead to a couple of other drivers who were better than him, but he was still hanging there in the top 5, and he led here and there and stuff. And he even won stage, or did he win a stage? No, he didn't. Actually, yeah, he did. He won stage 1 and stuff. So it was looking really good for Joey Logano until the end. Byron took the lead from him on the last restart. Logano was closing him down because Byron was getting a bit loose, and then going into turn 3, about to hit the white flag, Logano runs into the back of Byron. Byron gets up into the wall. Apparently he had 3 flat tires, and Logano takes the lead, holding off Tyler Reddick to get the win at Darlington. A lot of fans aren't happy with this, but we'll get to that later into this video. But Joey Logano ultimately gets his first win of the season. Let's see how he can do for the rest of the season before the playoffs start. Finishing in second was Tyler Reddick. Once again, Tyler Reddick, this is his first top 5 finish since that incident in the Bristol Dirt Race, and finishes second. So this is the second place finish for Tyler Reddick this season, or I think it's the second one, I'm not really sure. But Tyler Reddick, he had a really decent day. He wasn't the best car all day, but he had like a top 10, top 15 car and stuff. He just needed better track position to see if he was a real contender, and he actually was in the late portion of this race. Just wasn't enough to catch Byron or Joey Logano and stuff, but Reddick still had a pretty decent day. Definitely better than the last couple weeks, because Talladega, huge downfall, and then just very bad at Dover last week. He rebounds from the 39th and 30th place finishes from the last couple weeks to get a nice solid second place finish here from Darlington. Still looking for that first career win. We're headed to Kansas, where some drivers prefer to run the high line, so that could be a track where he could win. Finishing in third was Justin Haley. What a race for Justin Haley. I mean, seriously, it didn't really start off that well for him. He started, 29th? Got, a nice, decent finish in stage 1. Did not really do that well in stage 2. Stage 3, he started to pick things up a bit, and thanks to a few of the wrecks, he was able to get better track positioning and able to get an even better finish than we thought. Because Haley, this is his best finish since the regular season finale of last year back at Daytona, when he finished 6th for Spire Motorsports in the 77. So really cool for Justin Haley to get his first top 10 finish of the season. So really good for him and the 31 team at Colleague Racing. Finishing in fourth, and of course fourth, you see the fourth, yeah, coincidence? I don't think so. Anyway, finishing in fourth was Kevin Harvick. What a run for Kevin Harvick. Actually, just what a rebound for the team. But first, I just want to say that's 3 straight top 10s for them. That's his first top 5 since he finished second back at Richmond. But really just what a rebound for Kevin Harvick and the foreign team. It didn't really go to plan in practice. They had a tire go down, and it kind of did damage to the rear diffuser, and so they had to fix that, and they had to start at the rear, so they started 35th, and they couldn't qualify. But then he was able to rebound, and it was actually a pretty solid car, definitely like a top 10, top 15 car, so he was pretty solid throughout the day, and stayed out of trouble, stayed out of the wrecks, and was able to get a nice solid top 5 finish in 4th, so really good job for the 4 team of Kevin Harvick. And rounding out the top 5 and 5th was Chase Elliott, another driver who had a comeback of a race. It all started when Chase Elliott wrecked out in practice after, 13, 14 laps on old tires. His tire just went out and he wrecked out. They had to get the backup car out of his hauler, which is kind of funny because they have the backup car for all 4 cars, and it comes out of Elliott's hauler, kind of the same way with Kyle Busch back in Vegas. But anyway, Elliott had to start back in 34th and stuff. It didn't really start out the best. It didn't really start out that well because, first of all, his throwback was ruined because the way HMS wrapped his car. Same thing with like Byron back at Dover last week. So that just ruined throwback weekend for Chase Elliott. But anyway, he had a bit of an incident with Brad Keselowski. Elliott kind of got into the back of him, and then Brad K spun. But other than that, Elliott was just continuing throughout the day, moving out throughout the field. And then apparently he spun leaving pit road, and Fox missed that. So I don't know how the heck that happened. And then he got a bit of damage with that big incident down in the backstretch in stage 3. And then somehow, some way, able to get a nice solid top 5 finish. So good job for Chase Elliott and the 9 team. Heck of a rebound after what happened yesterday and earlier today and stuff, but top 5 finish, I guess they'll take it. Heck, that's 5 straight top 10s now for Chase Elliott in the 9 team. Finishing 6th was Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell also had a really decent race. He mostly did well early in the race and stuff, and he was kind of running, top 10, top 15. He wasn't really showing up anywhere like after his earlier run in stage 1 and stuff. After that, he was like kind of a no-show, but then he started to show up late after a few incidents happened here and there, and able to come back and get a nice solid 6th place finish. So nice solid finish for Christopher Bell and the 20 team. That's 2 straight top 10 finishes for the team, and so let's see if their momentum can keep up going into Kansas next week. Finishing in 7th was Michael McDowell. McDowell wasn't really a driver I thought would get a top 10, but mostly because so many drivers wrecked out late in stage 3. He was able to get a top 10 finish because he was mostly running in the top 20 and stuff, or top 25 and stuff, and he wasn't really a no-show. It was just classic Michael McDowell. But out of nowhere, after he started 16th in this race, he gets a 7th place finish. So that's really good for the team overall, instead of his first top 10 since Talladega a couple weeks back. Also, this matches his best finish since the Daytona 500 earlier in February. So a nice solid finish for the 34 team. Michael McDowell had some luck in their way with some wrecks happening, but I guess they'll just take a top 10 when they can take a top 10. Finishing in 8th was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. A nice solid finish for Stenhouse after he started 26th in this race, but then he was really actually running pretty well throughout the day. He was mostly inside the top 10, not in the top 10, but top 15, top 20, so he was definitely up there and stuff, but I did not expect him to get a top 10. Heck, same thing with like Michael McDowell, but hey, a top 10's a top 10 for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., so that's 2 straight top 10 finishes for the 47 team, so they have a bit of momentum going, so we'll see how Kansas rolls out for the 47 team, but a decent finish for Stenhouse and the 47 team. Finishing in 9th was Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon wasn't really a show I thought I'd see coming into this race. He was running pretty decent, I guess. I think he was like, I honestly don't know where Austin Dillon was running throughout the race because he wasn't really doing that much. So I'm guessing he was probably like in the top 20s or probably the top 25s or something. But he gets a 9th place finish and stuff after he started 14th today. So he was probably like top 15, top 20 car all day. Gets a decent top 10 finish. So that's really good for the 3 team trying to point their way into the playoffs. And rounding out the top 10 and 10th was Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez gets his first top 10 finish since Atlanta. So it's really been a while since the 99 car has been in the top 10 because it's all been Ross Chastain this, Ross Chastain that. But Suarez finally gets a top 10 after his teammate wrecks out early in the race, so it does suck for Chastain. But Trackhouse still has another driver getting a top 10 finish. So a really strong finish for Daniel Suarez and the 99 team. Heck, they were running really good all day, to be honest. They are definitely a top 10, top 15 car and stuff, but they'll get a top 10 to end off the day. And now let's rate this race. This was a pretty decent race, I'd have to say. Was it better than last year's throwback race? I'd have to say yes, because last year's throwback race was kind of boring in my honest opinion. Truex really dominated most of the day, but we had some leaders here and there, and we definitely had some more wrecks and stuff and more drama and stuff. So this was definitely a better race from last season in my personal opinion. And for my rating, I have to give this race an 8.5 out of 10, because we had some pretty decent battles throughout the day. Like that one between Joey Logano and Kyle Busch, after the restart, they went at it for like 2 laps, and eventually Logano got put in the wall by Kyle Busch. He said he'd get him back, but it was karma for Busch. Heck, Kyle Busch parked his car in pit road and stuff, just walked off, and he said he couldn't turn it and stuff, but I guess I kind of believe him, because I saw like a part, like the axle of where his wheel was broken and stuff. So I'd give this one an 8.5 out of 10, a really decent day. Let me know what you guys would give it in the comment section below. And now it's time for the biggest story of the race. It's the Logano Byron incident that happened in turns 3 coming to the white flag. So basically Byron was getting kind of loose. Logano was definitely catching him and stuff. Byron was trying his best to block him so he could secure the victory. But then going into turn 3, Logano got into the back of Byron, put him up into the track, and he hit the wall. Apparently they said 3 of his tires came down. I don't know how the heck that happened, but Byron goes from a first or second place finish to a 13th place finish. So kind of reminiscent of the whole Chastain Truex thing at the end of Dover last week. But that does suck for Byron, because that time you could actually tell he did get taken out and stuff, and Byron was not happy with Joey Logano. He had some choice words for him at the end of the race, calling him an idiot, moron, he can't win races and stuff. So Byron definitely not happy. Heck, Byron doesn't really have a lot of incidents with other drivers and stuff. I mean, he had one with Keselowski back in 2019 at Daytona, and then he also had one with Reddick back at the Charlotte Roval last year and stuff. So I do feel bad for William Byron and stuff. You just have some of these drivers going in over their head, just making these moves and stuff. I mean, take for instance the Coda incident with Ross Chastain. Some people blame Chastain. I actually thought it was fair game, because Allmendinger bumped him and Chastain bumped him back. And then now I'll say for the incident at Dover last week, I'd say that's kind of Chastain, because he kind of used up Martin Truex Jr. And also, of course, the Bristol Dirt incident, that was all Chase Briscoe and stuff. But Reddick didn't even get mad, so I don't know. So Byron does have a right to be mad. And another weird thing is, why did Joey Logano say it was some sort of retaliation against Byron? What did Byron do to him? I do not remember Byron doing a single thing to Logano in this race. If Logano's talking about something in the past, then I don't know, I need to see some proof. But during this race, Byron and Logano weren't even really that close to each other. I mean, Byron was like top 5 car all day. Logano was like running up in the lead and stuff. So I don't know what type of retaliation Logano was talking about. Byron was even confused himself, but he said retaliation, so Byron is going to stand by that word. He's going to give retaliation to Logano. So yeah, that's my take on the incident. Definitely on Joey Logano. We've seen Logano make these sort of moves before. Gave Truex the bump and run back at Martinsville in 2018 and stuff. So of course this is just classic Joey Logano and stuff. You can see the desperation, because he's trying to get a win, and he's only the third or fourth. I think he's actually the fourth driver over the age of 30 getting their first win of the season. Actually, no, the third. It was Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, now Joey Logano and stuff. So yeah, that happened. So I'm on Byron's side for this one, not being biased and stuff, because I like Hendrick Motorsports, but just, you saw the move. You saw what Logano did. Just put him up into the wall and stuff. So we'll see if this kind of rivalry continues going into Kansas. Now, time for our drivers of the day. Back-to-back weeks of being the unlucky driver of the day. It is Denny Hamlin, in my opinion. Hamlin, I don't know what to say. This is like Dover all over again. Well, first of all, Hamlin started, 21st in this race and stuff, so he had to come back from that, not so good starting position and stuff. And then, no, Hamlin started 22nd, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, he had to come back from that. He was moving his way out throughout the field. He definitely had a fast car, a car that could definitely contend and stuff, and he was running really well inside the top 10, and then he led some laps at one point. I mean, he didn't win any of the stages and stuff, but he was definitely leading laps. But then you had that whole Truex spin, and then he collected, Custer, Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace, sucks for both 2311 racing drivers. And then Hamlin collected damage from that, heavy damage, and apparently they said Hamlin had 2 speeding penalties throughout today's race. I'm like, what happened? You had first of all, like, that incident, Hamlin just couldn't avoid it, so that's nothing of his doing. But then 2 speeding penalties, Hamlin just cannot catch a break. If Hamlin can't win a race, he can't get a top 10. Basically, it's either win or you finish outside the top 10. That's basically it for Denny Hamlin. So I do feel bad for Hamlin, but that is just bad luck on a whole different level. I mean, not only does he have a bad race, but both of his cars that he owns, Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace, they were both having strong days, and they both ended up into the garage and stuff. So that does suck for Hamlin in the 11 team. And if you also think about it, this was Denny Hamlin's first race without Chris Gabehart because of Chris Gabehart being suspended. So, yeah, pain for Hamlin. Now moving on to the underdog driver of the day, I got to give it to Justin Haley. A nice restart that he had on the final restart. Ends up getting 4th place, overtook Kevin Harvick. I was very shocked, and I'm surprised Harvick didn't run him down. But Haley had a good one right there. He was on track to get 4th, but then with that whole Byron Logano incident, he gets 3rd place finish. And like I said, this is his best finish since the regular season finale last year back at Daytona and stuff. So really good for Justin Haley and the 31 team. And honestly, this is what his second best finish in the NASCAR Cup Series, because you go back to Daytona in 2019, that's his best finish. He won the race in 3rd place today. So really good for Justin Haley and the 31 team. Hopefully we can see some good finishes come out for this team throughout the rest of the season. And for my comeback driver of the day, I had to give it to Chase Elliott, in my opinion. I know Kevin Harvick started a position lower than Elliott, but I had to give it to Elliott because Elliott, unlike Harvick, Elliott actually wrecked his car. I mean, wrecked it. He had to go to a backup. Harvick only had to have some stuff adjusted and fixed to his car. Elliott had to start from 34th and stuff. That's about around 35th and stuff. Well, of course it is. I'm stupid. Anyway, and then Elliott, apparently he had an incident with Brad Keselowski at the beginning of the race, and then he spun out leaving pit road when that Alex Bowman caution came out. Once again, Fox missed that. How do you miss Elliott spinning off a pit road? At least Boyer pointed it out, okay? But anyway, and then once that happened, Elliott was still able to get a nice solid top 5 finish and stuff. And I guess Dad was watching him making some good moves out there in the final stage, so that was actually pretty cool to have Bill Elliott out there in stage 3. Also to have Richard Petty in stage 1 and Bobby Labonte stage 2. Also happy birthday to Bobby Labonte. And yeah, so really good for Chase Elliott, so I'm going to give him driver of the day. Or comeback driver of the day. Now, you can love him, hate him, and stuff after what happened today, but in my honest opinion, driver of the day, I got to give it to Joey Logano and stuff, because he started on pole, he led the most laps today, he looked really good and stuff. He looked really good. I thought he was going to get the win for a second, but then it looked like Byron had it, and then Byron didn't, and then Logano took it. So I'm happy. I think Logano deserves driver of the day because he was definitely one of the best cars all day, but do I think he deserved it? 50-50 at this point. But Logano, I'll say overall he's driver of the day. And I could also be saying this because there's no other bloody driver in the top 10 that deserves driver of the day. But still, I think Logano is today's driver of the day. And that will do it for today's video. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you guys want to check out my gaming channel, NASCAR Gaming 48, link will be down in the description below. Should be uploading a video tomorrow on the gaming channel, so make sure you subscribe so you do not miss that. If you want to check out my Instagram, link will also be down in the description below. And subscribe to this channel. Really appreciate you guys. If you guys have not checked out my Darlington Throwbacks reaction to the paint schemes a couple days ago, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss anything else like that coming pretty soon. And make sure you check out the video. It was really fun to make and stuff. And yeah, thank you for watching. So gonna be getting ready for Kansas next week. Should be a decent one. We're finally headed back to a regular 1.5 mile racetrack, so it should be fun. Should see some really good racing and stuff. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Happy Mother's Day, happy throwback weekend and stuff. See you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. This is NASCAR Mobile 48. Peace out.